What the fuck do you think this is? Amateur hour?
Welcome to Hanging Loose, a disc golf podcast. Hosted by Shanked DG and Spicy Boy. And today's guest, co-host of Hitting the Line, Nasser.
All right, welcome to Hanging Loose Podcast, episode number 3. I'm Shank DG, and joined with me, as always, is Spicy Boy DG.
I am joined with you always. Also, apparently my volume was not the best last week, so sorry, guys, if you ran into that. But I'll try and be louder tonight. I just don't want to scream at my neighbors. I'll scream at my girlfriend.
What is this man yelling about?
She's into it. Yeah, what, Heisers? What the hell? Oh, man, how was your week?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Just busy at work, really. Getting into the swing of things there. Played a little bit of disc golf on Sunday.
Yeah. How'd you do?
Not too bad. Form changes are kicking my butt. I'm skying every shot I throw, so makes it hard to be competitive. But positive note, I still beat them. So I played with like a group of like 4 guys, and so ended up pulling off the win barely, but got it.
And left-handed, so even at a disadvantage. I'm just kidding. Didn't you say Tourist is pretty set up for lefties?
Yeah, it's pretty lefty friendly. I mean, it used to be a lot harder. They had to cut down a bunch of ash trees because of a bug or like a beetle or something, and much like what's happening.
Now there's just a bunch of ash holes.
Nice, yeah. Yep. And
fucking dumb.
They're they had to pull down a bunch of trees, so it's just most holes you can throw a hyzer. If you can't throw a hyzer, you can just throw straight at it. So it makes it quite easy.
Well, that's good. I'm sure it's still not even as close to easy as Freestone is up the street from us here, because I'm telling you, bro, if you went, you'd be like, how have you not aced here more than once? And whatever.
We have a course right up the road from where I live. I've never actually played it because I pulled up once and I was like, this is a joke. It's a little 9-hole place on it's called Koa Campground, and little 9-hole course. And I'm not joking. There isn't a single tree on the course. It's like someone put up a disc golf course on a mini golf course. It's like back and forth. What's that?
It's like a mini golf course, but it's disc golf and it's indoors. It's like a big warehouse.
Oh, it's indoors?
Cat Merch just posted a video playing there, and that was it looks interesting because they have like
that's sick.
Obstacles. It's kind of like the Jomez putting game, but like you can go.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I know they have I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but they have like ridiculous obstacles at the course. It's in Texas. Flying Armadillo. That's
Flying Armadillo, yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen like that, and that's bordering on mini golf, but if it's indoors, I mean that's pretty sweet.
That's definitely a bucket list course for me. I want to get I don't think I've ever been to Texas on purpose. I've been through it occasionally. So I would love to go there. I think that'd be really fun. So you played Tourist and won. I did not play disc golf this week. I filmed disc golf this week.
Never mind. Redemption. Immediate redemption.
Yeah, I filmed the Big Arm Challenge at Vista del Camino, and they have a special layout. And the one and only Terry Miller, God rest his soul, he just needs that. He's not dead. No, he brought me out to film. So I did catch cam for round 1. Not my best day behind the lens, to be honest. I missed a few things, but some of the shots, because it's the Big Arm Challenge, are blind. I'm staring at a tree, so trying to pick up a disc and track it with a camera is a little difficult sometimes. Gives me great admiration and respect for the people that do the live feed, and Jomez, even like their camera work all those guys are great.
Sometimes it's hard to even track your own shot, let alone someone else's, through a viewfinder on a camera.
Yeah, when you're standing like this and like
Yeah.
out here, AB. If you watch round one, go watch round one. AB's throwing rollers with this yellow disc, and out here all the grass is dead right now. So it's just I'm like, what is happening? Or Goose throws. He has this translucent blue driver that he throws forehands with, and as soon as that thing gets in the sky, you're like, well, I'm fucked. Like I think it's in this area. So actually, what I end up doing a lot of the time is I'll be zoomed in on them, and then I'll watch them throw with my naked eye, and I'll just point the camera where I think it goes. And most of the time that works out.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's probably a good strategy.
It's a little difficult, but it was great. Got to hang out with Terry. First Terry story tonight is we went to see the comedian Jimmy Carr, which if you don't know who Jimmy Carr is, I'm sure you've seen him, but he's a very snarky, roasty, likes to deal with hecklers type English comedian. We got there and there was this number on the screen. I posted it on Instagram and I told everybody to like mention disc golf a bunch. And so the message that I wrote for Jimmy Carr to react to live in front of this audience was, hey, Jimmy, the most prominent journalist in disc golf is here and he's a massive fan. Can you make his life and roast disc golf? And I'm not going to repeat it because don't want to get canceled on episode 3. Brian owes us a discount code at episode 5. But he laid into disc golf, and it was so funny. And to hear Jimmy Carr say Terry Miller's name, oh my God, it was so funny.
I bet he was loving it.
Yep. It was that was really, really fun. So that's the first Terry story today. Our story time, we already kind of did story time, really, but we wanted to talk about the first aces that we got. So I'll let you lead, and then I will be a lot faster next time.
No worries. So mine, I don't want to say it's uneventful because it's your first ace, but it's at Tourist, hole 17. It's 126 feet, right in front of you. The only tree to miss is on the left, and if you're right-handed, it's not a problem. But 126 feet. I talked about it on episode 1. But I reached into my bag for a
that's right,
leopard to throw 126 feet. And I threw it on a little flex line and straight in the heart. And I freaked out, pulled out my phone, took a picture, sent it to my
video. Oh, damn.
No, I should have. I took a picture and sent it to my wife, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool." As I'm on the course, losing my mind, she's like, "Oh, just a virtual thumbs up."
Right.
Cool beans, bro. But yeah, that disc is still in my bag. I don't throw it much. I did lose it in the exchange pond, which home of the 1989 Worlds is right up the road from me. I lost it in the pond there. It was gone for a year, and I get a call from a guy, and he's like, "Hey, I've got a disc from I can barely read your name. I've got your disc. Found it at exchange," and I was like, "What disc did I lose there? I hardly play that course." And I was like, "Is it a leopard?" And he was like, "Maybe it's green." And I lost my mind. I was like, "Where can I meet you? I will come to your house. I will come down your chimney and get that thing from you." So
very festively topical. That's awesome.
I was pretty stoked. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of aces there since, and only aces there since. I'm still chasing my first quote unquote real ace at any other course.
What's the quantifier? What makes it a real ace?
Mostly, it's a numbers game, right? All those holes are about, on an average, about 150 feet, 160 feet ish.
Okay.
On average. And I played that course when I had my last job. I played that course every day on my lunch break until it was too cold to play anymore. So it's just a numbers game.
31 degrees.
Yeah. It's a numbers game, right? You throw enough shots at holes that short, you're going to ace a bunch.
Right.
And I've gotten 9 of the 18, and many of them more than once.
You have 18?
I think total I have 16.
Oh, okay.
16
I was
aces.
like,
no, but
I have
ace.
18. That would be weird if we had the same number of aces.
No, well, at first shot aces, I have like 15 or 16. But we can get into the weeds on if throwing 2 off the first counts, stuff like that, or it's like, hey, nice 3, But
Nice 3.
that reminds me. So last year, during one of our league nights, we were walking up hole 18 at Big Woods, the like quote unquote hard course in our area. And someone threw a nasty shot off of hole 11. So it's like 360 feet. You have to hit a gap right off the tee, and then it goes into a guarded green surrounded by like 10 trees. And he threw a nasty sidearm, flew up there, skipped up, hit the front of the basket, almost aced it. And one of the guys on my card, while we're walking down 18 fairways, turns to the guy and yells, "Nice 2."
That's amazing.
Still so funny. Like, throws the best
what-
shot ever, and all you hear from like down the way is "Nice 2, idiot."
Oh man, that's classic. That's if I had thought of it, that's like for us. It's nice up if somebody's way short on a putt.
Yeah.
That's our asshole remark.
Yeah. So about you, what's your first ace?
My first ace actually came about because I lost the disc. The very first tournament I volunteered for. Sorry, words are escaping me right now. We'll talk about why later. Anyway, the first tournament that I volunteered for was the 2020 Memorial, and one of the gifts that I was given by the folks at Spinners, because they always take care of their volunteers. You get a disc a day plus a bunch of store credit. It's really great.
Yeah,
the first disc I ever got was a strawberry lemonade colored 5-time first run Page Pierce stalker. It was gorgeous, and I loved that thing. And it was just like my disc. It did what I wanted. I had the power to throw it the way I wanted, which I know it's not a lot. It's a stalker, but I have a very weak arm. So I lost it at Fountain. And it wasn't even like, oh, I saw where it went in the water and I just can't go get it. It was like completely disappeared. No one saw any. Even the people sitting around it were like, we didn't see it. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I was devastated.
Those are the worst.
On the way home, I knew they still had some in stock. I stopped by Spinners and I bought a replacement one, which is a purple one. And I took it out like a week later. And I was playing with all the homies. You love it when you hit an ace in front of all the homies.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was there. And hole 5 short at Los Olivos is you have to throw through these 2 trees that are off to the right. And this may be like, all in all, it's probably like a 12 to 15 foot gap. But like it's at an angle. So you have to hit it straight. And then once you get out, you go between 2 big trees. There's a little hill and the basket sits deep. It's like 252 feet, I think. And I yanked it, dude. I threw it, and it just barely missed the inside of the right tree and disappeared above the tree line. And we all were like, "Oh fuck!" Because it's always a little nerve wracking when that happens. Mm-hmm. And we lose it because it's above the tree line. We can't see it, and then just bang! I mean, straight into the chain.
No way.
I was like, what? And we all were like, no fucking way. And ran down there. And I always take the same picture when I get an ace because I'm that guy, and I'm sure it's annoying, and I totally understand. But that disc is in a shadow box at home. I retired it immediately. I retired my first 10, and then now I'm not going to.
Yeah. That reminds me of, I don't know if you saw it when it happened, but Blossom on Twitter, he hit an ace playing through a group of like 10 dudes and aced right in front of them, and it's all on video, and they just go
it's the best.
Like insane stuff. But that reminds that it's interesting. So you retire ace discs?
Well, I only did my first 10, and that was my plan from the start. Was like,
Gotcha.
if I get that many, I'll be really excited. That'll be a nice little even memento I can make. And then after that, I'm still throwing them. So I've got like in the bag right now. I have the Hurricane, the Wraith, one or two others.
Gotcha.
And I just love it's. You take it out, and you're like, I know what to do with you.
Yeah. See, it kind of falls under the same umbrella for me as collecting. I don't collect anything, and definitely not discs, like
or listeners,
or listeners. But
shit. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. That's God. I don't collect discs. I think if you're going to buy a disc, it's meant to be thrown, kind of thing. I mean, not to a point where it's like you're doing the disc a disservice by not throwing it, but like, because obviously there's collector stuff. I mean, that's the whole reason Discmania is still in business. But it's the same with ace discs. Like, minus my first ace disc, and I still throw it. I just don't ever throw it when it's in danger of being lost.
Yeah, safe plays.
But I have so many discs that I've aced. Maybe it's because the aces don't feel real to me because they're at this pitch and putt course. But
and if you throw from the tee pad to the chains, that's an ace, brother. Unless you're Pierce, this guy disc golf. I love that guy's videos on Instagram, but he's like, I have 700 aces. It's like, bro, if you set it at 80 feet and you throw it in on the first try, that's it makes me laugh. Hey, kudos to him. Man's doing well for himself. I hope he continues to. I don't mean to sound like sour grapes.
No, for sure. I got sent a pyro by Arctic Cats a while back, and first throw, pulled it out, aced hole 2 at Tourist. First throw with the disc. I've never even thrown a pyro before. Aced the first throw with it. Played a tournament with it the next weekend. Lost in a pond.
Oof.
And I thought I'd get it back because it was, not a deep pond, and it was the middle of the tournament. I didn't want to and it was really cold, but I didn't want to go in the water and slow everyone down. So I was just like, I'll come back for it after the round. And by that point, I was at the end of a 2-round tournament, I was just tired and had forgotten about it. But
filming one round knocks your ass out because you're running around trying to get everybody's shot, dude. I know my legs are so sore right now.
I can't even imagine because there's no not much stopping. I imagine you don't have to it's these guys through got to go get the next shot kind of deal.
Yeah, but occasionally you get backups where you can kind of sit and take a minute, and
to get back to work.
Yeah. No, but there's a guy that always he's kind of like I don't know his official capacity with Terry, but he always helps Terry. He walks with him and he carries water for him and that kind of stuff. His name's Chris Kopp. Great guy. Love him to death. Shout out Chris. Probably never gonna see this. Don't care. Still a good guy. He was right behind me the whole time and was just like, you need water, you good, you want you snack, he was on it. And it makes my job infinitely easier, especially because this week I forgot I usually have a bag, like a camel bag, and I totally forgot it, so I was kind of SOL.
Shout out Chris.
Yeah, Chris, good dude. That can take us. I have 2 disc picks.
2
disc picks this week.
That's unheard of. We're breaking new ground here.
Now it's heard of. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Do you have a disc pick this week?
I didn't bring one for show and tell, but
son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, unfortunate.
Okay.
But I did get, along with my tournament winnings that I was talking about last week, my last disc pick. I got a pink and blue. Oh, what's his name? It's escaping me. Maverick.
Zach Melton.
Yeah, Zach Melton Maverick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I got a pink and blue Zach Melton Maverick. And,
he's a friend. Not really. I fucking wish. He's the nicest guy.
Yeah. very accessible too. Like you can just like comment,
tweet at him
on him, and he'll be like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, I got one of those, and it's really sick. I haven't thrown it yet because it's really pretty, and I don't want to ruin it. But it's also been my couch disc, so it goes right between, like in between the cushion and like the armrest of the couch, and I'll sit and spin it on my finger when I'm just like bored. And
so all day.
Yeah, so all day. And the repetitive motion of putting it between the cushion and pulling it out has rubbed half the stamp off.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, so
yeah, I have.
where I could probably throw it.
I have an orange Zach Melton whale sack. That's what's on my bag. So we're both Zach Melton supporters. Clip it, put it on the internet. Zach, shout out. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, lefties forever.
I sound so insufferable when I say shit like that. Don't let me do that. You gotta calm down.
We should start a podcast with him, and it's instead of 2.5 men, it's 2.5 lefties, because me and him are lefties, and you're ambidextrous.
That's sign him up. I'm sure he'd love to do it.
We'll clip it.
Disc picks. So my first one, this is a really funny story, is this. So big arm challenge stamp.
Oh yeah, is that Orbit? Something Orbit.
It's a time lapse.
Oh shoot, that's actually damn.
Yeah. So here's how I got this.
I heard those
this was in the. These are what?
I heard those are flippy.
Only the purple ones. So I was standing there talking to Terry right before the first round, and Tommy Guns Trujillo, he's the TD for this event. He walks up to Terry and he's got 4 of these in his hand, and they're all different colors. And he goes to Terry right in front of me, and he goes, "Terry, what colors do you want? These are time lapses. They're in the players pack, but I saved some for you." And I'm standing there like, I want one of those. And Terry reads it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes,
sitting there like spitting your toe in the dirt.
He goes, I don't know, Spicy, what color do you want for yours? And totally just slipped me in a time lapse. And I was like, you're the broest of bros right now, man. That was so nice of you. So that's how I got this. And it's very pretty. And I'll probably throw it, but I'm sure it's wildly overstable. Not stable, overstable. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right, so second disc pick. Terry did me a solid. If you haven't yet, you should go to the Disc Golf Guy YouTube channel, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, as he would say. And there is footage of the 2023 Cold Turkey 18, I think, if my Roman numerals are right. And he commissioned drawings by Trent. If you don't know who that is, look them up on TikTok. He's got like zillions of followers. He's a great dude, and he draws animals just off the top of his head. So Terry commissioned him to make a stamp for this tournament of a turkey throwing a frisbee. And so
that's not Sharpied on.
No,
that's an actual stamp. That's amazing.
So he probably actually holds the record for the quickest stamp design in all of disc golf history. I sent Shank a video. If you can show it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if
we can hear Terry talk about it real quick, and then you can actually see Trent draw this in real time, and it takes about 6 seconds. But he's great, and Terry's doing a lot of things to support them, so go support Terry and help these guys out. I mean, he's phenomenal. I love watching the videos.
That is so cool.
And now it's here.
Dude.
So Terry sent them a few, and everybody in the players pack got one for that tournament. This is a pure. He also had Ballista Pros and a couple other molds, but super cool. I'm so excited to have it, and I'm absolutely going to throw it.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So those are my new things.
Video sharing went smoothly, but
we'll see in post.
Yeah, I suppose so. But that's really cool. Like, big shout out Terry once again.
Yeah, we love him. I will sing his praises till the end of time.
Hey everybody, editor/producer, The Real RV3. Just wanted to pop in and let you guys know I cut that video because I didn't feel like you could hear it very well, and I didn't want to waste your time. Anyway, back to the guys.
Damn, I was just gonna say something and I forgot.
Hmm.
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 Hmm. Where do you think Gannon Burr is gonna sign?
Okay. Hear me out, right?
No.
I think he's gonna make a big deal, tease everybody, be like, "Look what I'm throwing," or like do a bunch of sneaky posts where he's got like nukes on the ground in the background or something, and then he's gonna
Maria Oliva last year.
and then he's just gonna re-sign with Prodigy. I think so.
Really? I don't think so.
Well, it's either that or Discmania, right? Because they need Crush Boys back. I mean, outside of collectors, right? I mean, their big selling point was Simon and Eagle. Well, with Simon gone now, they need someone to, because I don't know about Eagle's discs. I don't know too much about Discmania in general. But I don't think Eagle's discs sell nearly as good as, say, like the Sky God.
Yeah, I would say that's valid.
So I think Discmania needs another Crush Boy. But they're gonna have to give Gannon some big bucks, I think, because they know how valuable commodity he is. But I don't think he fits anywhere else besides Prodigy. Sorry.
Really? No, you're fine. I don't know why. I have nothing to go on, but I just see Gannon Burr with an Innova shirt on for some reason.
Yeah.
Like, I think Gannon Burr could absolutely just rip a destroyer for date. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I think him and Vinny would be a great face for Innova. And they could cut most other players, I think, and just have Vinny and Gannon. That's a good.
I mean, they've got Germ and Nate and a bunch of other teams, but they did last year. They offloaded quite a few people, and I think it was to either set up for something big, but it's just like if I close my eyes and I visualize Gannon Burr and don't clip this. He has Innova clothes on for some reason. Like he's got the hat, he's got the I can just see the logo across his back for some reason. It's literally all I'm basing it on.
Yeah, I don't know if he fits the bill of minus moving plastic. I don't know if he fits the bill really of like Innova's persona or vibe, because they tend to go for more professional people on their team, right? Not saying Gannon's not professional, but he's young and he's a goofball. He can be he can be a silly goose sometimes. So it's a little weird because Vinny's so stoic. I mean, he's got such a dry humor when he's on like skins and stuff like that, but as a forward-facing player, he's very stoic on the course. You've got Nate and Germ, who are sportscasters. Like they're the voice of our sport for the most part. Like, and so it's weird to see Gannon there, but it'd definitely be a good money move. I mean, I would buy a Gannon Burr destroyer, and I don't even throw destroyers. So,
yeah. I mean,
and he's a fellow Iowa boy.
I like Slipknot.
That's always everyone's first go-to. Oh yeah,
I know nothing else about fucking Iowa.
It's Korn or Slipknot.
Yeah, and you don't say, like when people say Des Moines, and I want to absolutely murder their whole face. Yeah, I mean, who else free agent wise are we missing this year? Because isn't Eagles coming up pretty soon? Is it this year or?
Yeah, I don't think Eagle will ever leave Discmania.
You don't think so?
I
mean, I'm only saying that because everyone thought that about Simon. It's like
Simon got a once in a lifetime deal though.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like he got there's Paul's deal with Discraft, and then there's Simon's deal with MVP. Like those two are probably the biggest contract signings we'll see for a long time.
Yeah.
In disc golf, like minus, I mean, Ricky's was a pretty big signing too, but like, I don't know, those two made a big impact.
Tarnished by the
on
Bitcoin bonus,
which is up now. So, hold
yeah,
on.
he's made $9,000. Good job, Rick. Jesus.
Good job, Rick.
I don't want to say that. Ricky's super nice, and he's always kind to me at tournaments. And I actually ran into him and Drew and a couple of other pros who were just out watching, and they're always nice.
Did he invite you to his hot tub?
To who? Ricky's?
Ricky? Did he invite you to his hot tub?
No, he's famously an ice bather, so that's where we sat closely together. No, I've been trying to get him to let me come out to his house so I can play on his pool table, just because I want to say I have. And also, he seems like a super fun guy to hang out with. And so, literally Sunday night after the comedy show with Terry, he's like, I think there's a party there. I don't really know what's going on. And I was like, if there's a party at Ricky's and I'm not there, I'll be really mad. And I'm not trying to air anybody's business. They usually go out and celebrate the end of a tournament. So I hope I don't get in trouble with any of them. But
you didn't say anything.
I signed the NDA. It's fine.
I guess you mentioned the icebox, but
well, he puts that on Instagram. That's no
fair.
Secrets. We might not have a guest. He hasn't responded to me. Has he responded to you?
He has not responded to me.
Just call my girlfriend up here. Hey, babe. What's a hyzer? She'll be like, isn't that? That's not at all how she sounds.
I hope my sniffing's been better this episode.
I mean, I'm not eating. Thought about asking my girlfriend if she would just like Dr. Disrespect, just feed me from off camera.
Just a
sorry. Yeah, celeb shit, you know.
I felt bad about our last episode's interaction with Lone Star and all the people that were mad that they were on the team with a dog. So I had to wear my Lone Star shirt on the
that guy. So that guy his last few posts were like from Arizona courses, and I'm like, I hope I don't run into him. He's gonna be all mad that I roasted his ass. He said he can jump on, but he would be on and off because he's helping his wife and child return from a trip.
Okay, no worries. We could vamp a little bit more. All right, we had this in the pocket. What do you think about signing baskets after you ace them? I saw an interesting comment earlier today that makes me bring it up because I think generally as a community we're against it. I just want to how do you feel about it?
So I may be a little biased because I am I'm probably going to get heat for this, but that's fine. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. And depending on how much you know about the Red Sox, the right field foul pole is referred to as Pesky's pole. And when you sit there, it's tradition to sign Pesky's pole. So there's only one of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a thing, you know, I'm not against signing things, or like if the whole bathroom has shit written on it, add your shit, you know, I think that's fun. As long as that's the intended purpose. If it's not the intended purpose, don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. So
especially if you have a messy ass signature, because no one's gonna know who the fuck you are anyway. And I have a messy ass signature, so I can say that.
Yeah. So generally I'm against it, right? It looks trashy. It's vandalism, you know.
But leave my weed alone.
The easy targets for that argument. But I did see from Butter Disc Golf, I want to say today, he said that signing baskets after you ace is either it's an all or nothing deal. It's either there's no signatures on the basket and it's fine, or there's a lot of signatures on the basket and it's fine. You run into that middle space where it's like 2 or 3 people have signed it and it's like, oh, come on. But as soon as it's like you can't even really make out a name, enough signatures on the basket, I think it's pretty sweet. It's almost like sticker bombing something. You get 1 or 2 stickers on your dashboard, kind of doesn't look very good, but as soon as you cover it
on your dashboard,
like a car or something. You ever seen
bumpers? I've never seen a sticker bombed dashboard before.
Really? Oh, I kind of like it. It's they'll like pull the clip off of This has become a car podcast. Slipping back. They'll pull the dashboard out by the clips and then just like layer stickers on it. Normally it's like anime tits and whatever else in a Honda Civic. But
shout out to my buddy Steven. He's got a sticker on his truck that says "Hentai saved my life," and then on his bag he has a patch that says "Hentai ruined my life."
That's the perfect time for Nasser to have joined in. Hentai ruined your life.
Your life. I hear that, man.
Welcome up, dude. Oh, device is not connected.
Sorry, it's not. I've got it plugged into the USB here. I may need to do a little setup here, but vocally we're good to go.
Heck yeah. What up, dude? That was a perfect time for you to join.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, like I said, the only thing, my wife and baby are coming back from a little work trip she was on. They may be home within the next hour, so I'll at least need to just pop off and kiss a baby, say hi, and all those things. But
oh yeah, no worries.
Me too, and I don't even have babies.
Let's see here.
Oh shit.
Settings. Anyway, what is good, y'all?
Tell us who you are. You just show up in here, start talking about your baby. Give us
I know. Yeah, I'm Nasser, and I am a longtime disc golfer, a teacher, fan of Insane Clown Posse and heavy metal music. A little bit of everything. So,
whoop whoop
whoop whoop. Yeah,
I've always wanted to do that.
Hey, there you go. Now you can actually do it to a real Juggalo. Yeah, I was basically I wanted to be on to talk about disc golf. I just feel like I have a pretty good experience in the sport, especially through its recent growth. I was one of the first ones for sure to be betting on disc golf, and that was a thing. I remember discovering the app. I don't know, it was maybe even through disc golf Twitter, maybe in early 2019, and seeing someone post about it and finding this app Prize Picks and seeing that they even had disc golf to me was pretty insane. And the theory kind of behind that, my brother and I, who also tweets a little bit on Twitter, I messaged him right away because he's into gambling and disc golf, of course. We've both been in the game probably since about 2007 or 8. And basically my thought was, who are these people creating these lines at these companies? There's no way they know, and there's no way they know more about disc golf than I do, basically.
Right.
It just didn't make sense in my mind. I was like, there's no way these guys know more about this than I do. And we kind of quickly found that to be true. We started making money betting on disc golf in ways that most people don't win against sports betting. Vegas always wins is the same.
Right.
The house always wins, but it seemed for a while, and it still seems that way, that in disc golf, it's not the case due to the size of the sport, due to the average person knowing a lot more about the sport than maybe most common bettors in most common sports do,
Yeah.
So we found just a cool little niche where we started a podcast about betting on disc golf and disc golf news. And yeah.
Well, I hope that comes back for you because they need to bring back
I hope so
betting
too.
on disc golf. But that leads to a question I had was like, what kind of lines were they setting? Like, because you were saying it was almost pretty easy to win.
Yeah, well, they would just have lines of players, like they'd have Paul McBeth, Ricky Wysocki, whoever, and they would just post their score, what they thought that player would shoot for the round. Let's say it's a 60.
Gotcha.
Something. And so my brother and I would go on to either the year's previous tournaments or look at the courses and be like, oh, well, last year, a 60 was a 1030 rated round. Looks like the weather is going to be really nice this weekend. 1030, is Paul McBeth going to shoot better than a 1030? Yeah, I'm choosing the under. And then is like, they might have someone who's rated really high, but maybe historically does poorly at a tournament. There was a couple times we leaned on Emerson Keith to give us an under because they would like put his score, 2 or 3 strokes higher than the best guys out there. And there'd be a couple times, if you go back and listen to our catalog, we have one about 2020 Worlds with the Conrad Ace, and that week's episode, we were talking about how we thought Emerson was going to slay, and then you can hear us like bragging, like, "Oh yeah, man, we were right about that. Like he played great, blah blah blah." So there were just these little things that we knew we could take advantage of, knowing about ratings and knowing how players historically do on courses that could make us money. And then came the DDO, or the Dynamic Disc Open, in 2020. I'm not sure if you guys were following them, but it was the year where there was a ton of wind, and they had that island hole on hole 2. They had a prop bet for that with a 2.5 strokes, right? So it's an island hole. It's not far. It's like 300 feet, pretty much wide open, but it's on an island. And it was crazy windy that day. And for whatever reason, Prize Picks had it so you could bet up until like 10 minutes before the person teed off. So we would just keep an eye on the weather this particular day, see who was still going to go. We would look like everybody has parred or got worse, like bogey, par, maybe 1 or 2 birdies. So we were just making cards of 5-6 players all choosing the over and just hitting 20 times on the ticket, times 20 your money, times 25 your money. We're betting. I bet in small units because I'm married and have a family, and a salary, and I have to make sure, I do it for fun. But my brother, he's a DGen. He's in his late 20s. He loves betting and disc golf. He's really good at poker. Like, he's not just an idiot who loses money. He's really good at poker, poker theory. He was betting in bigger units in like hundreds. So he was bringing in like hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. I was happy to turn 5 into like 50, I'm like, oh, $50, where he was betting in the hundreds, but then bringing in the hundreds and thousands. So that was a really big year. And so I think that was like maybe season 1 or season 2 of our show. And then I think the biggest hit that happened for us was last year's Las Vegas Challenge. My brother, I said, betting, I think 4 or 5 tickets at $100 each, hit on all of them, maybe except one, made like multiple thousands the first day of the tournament. And then, so we're sitting at our house in Oregon here, and it's, I don't know, the evening, and he goes, or I think I like mentioned, he's like, I've never been to a pro tournament before. I was like, well, didn't you just win like $3,000 today? And why don't you book a flight and go to Vegas right now? I bet it's like $300. And so he literally that night booked an Airbnb, bought a plane ticket, and was on DGPT coverage the next day.
That's amazing.
The money that he made the previous day, which was hilarious.
That's sick.
And then it was shortly after that, I want to say March of 2022, maybe, where they stopped completely betting in the middle of a tournament. There are people who are in like Discord groups for betting on sports who don't know anything about the sports. They just love to gamble. And so they kind of got into the disc golf and saw that people were making a lot of money. And so I think there was some people involved in both who were like giving the good picks to these broad Discord groups who are then betting lots of units on disc golf, and they have no idea what it is and making a ton of money. And then Prize Picks being like, we got to nip this thing in the bud. We're getting our asses kicked. And so far they haven't brought it back. So far, RIP to disc golf gambling. But, I'm hopeful in the future that Prize Picks or another company will come around and offer something, even if it's maybe not as profitable as it has been the past couple of years, just because it's fun. I feel like my viewing of disc golf dropped down tremendously when they got rid of it. Even my wife noticed. She was like, you haven't been watching as much disc golf. I'm like, yeah, now I just see who wins. Like, I'm not invested in what Spicy Boy shoots in round 2, like, so it's a lot more fun with some skin in the game for sure.
I don't know shit about gambling, but don't bet on me. I know that.
Well, they had it a real easy format too, is you could choose anywhere from 2 to like 6 people. And the more people you choose, the more you can win, but you were allowed to like miss 1 or 2 and maybe still get your money back or some money. So it was fun. You choose either all overs or maybe all unders, or mix it up. If you mixed it up and chose some people over, some people under, you'd get like a higher bonus for hitting it. So it was just a really fun time. So if you guys or anybody out there wants to check out some of our old shows, it's Hitting the Line was the name of the podcast, which I still think is one of the best dual entendre, double entendre names for gambling and disc golf. I was like, I came up with that. I was like, man, that's a good name.
Yeah, that was really
check
good.
It out. It's not relevant, but if you want to listen to some disc golf nerds talk about disc golf news and betting, check it out.
It's
Hoping
the off
to do more
season.
in the future.
We're all fiending for content.
What about you guys? What's y'all's story? I feel like I don't know really much about you guys.
I'm fat.
But handsome.
Goddamn right. I've been playing for like 4 years. I know absolutely fuck all about betting and gambling and all that stuff. It never caught my eye. So I was interested to hear And that was quite a thorough explanation. And so I feel like I understand a lot more now. But I just love it. I started doing it after I got divorced, and then haven't stopped.
The disc golf or the gambling?
Disc golf. My gambling history is there's a very smoky hotel in Prescott, Arizona called Bucky's. And I took $40 in there with my mom to play slots, and I lost it in about 30 seconds. I was like, why do people do this? And then I haven't gambled ever again.
Dude, my grandma used to love just go waste her Social Security, check on some slots in the Detroit casino, man.
Oh.
Well, again, that's what attracted us to the disc golf part. Is I've never been big into gambling. Yeah, I'll play some Hold'em, and I I love to learn about poker theory and strategy and things like that. But like, I wasn't a sports gambler at all. But like I said, with disc golf, it just felt like I had that. Most players had this in of like, we know a lot about the game, and I feel like most average NFL bettor can't tell you what coverage the defense is playing. They can't tell you, those ins and outs. We're in disc golf, and it's like, no, man, I know like Chris Dickerson's seed 2 percentage is whatever, and like this course really suits to his need. Like it was just something that we had way more knowledge than the average person, and we just knew if that we could find that little edge and expose it, we could make some money. And so
we love edging in this house.
We are edgers. Now it goes back to the comment you made earlier when I first popped in here.
Hentai ruined my life.
We lost him.
We did we? Deuces. Wifey's home.
There he is. No, I hit the start cam button and it muted me. I still can't figure out why my camera's not working.
It's all right. It's probably for the best.
Jesus. Camera.
Yeah, I'm gonna roast people. That's what I do. And he's gone.
In and out.
Well,
Hentai all over again.
You get lucky. Until he comes back, I mentioned to you. Oh, god damn it!
Sorry, no, I'm just messing with the camera options, and each time I click something, it mutes me. So you guys just go on ahead. I'm not leaving.
Oh, that's so funny.
You're good. I need 2 from each of you pet peeves in disc golf that drive you absolutely batshit crazy. 2 each. And explain.
All right. He's still here. Don't worry. He's just popping in and out of the thing.
I'm going to talk shit every time.
2 pet peeves. Go ahead, Shank. Do you start us off here?
I suppose it's kind of backwards, but I don't like when people blame you for nicing their shot. I am about as unsuperstitious as they come. You cannot nice a shot. It's just it's on a trajectory as soon as it leaves your hand. So
not yet.
Getting blamed for nicing a shot is like, I don't know if I'd call it even a pet peeve though. It's just kind of like, I mean, it was a bad shot, bro. Don't throw it that way.
That's a pet peeve. That's totally a pet peeve. Like I hate when people nice my shots, and it's not. It's because I threw it.
Fight.
Yeah. This is the last episode we're going to do together. Please watch my new podcast next week. No,
I had to kick Nasser. He started getting a little combative.
Oh yeah, get him out of here.
Oh, he's back.
I don't know why this is happening. Oh well.
No, you're fine, brother.
You're good.
Because like when I throw it, I know it's not nice. I can feel it as soon as it leaves my hand.
Yeah.
So then when somebody else is like nice, I'm like, you sarcastic piece of shit, and then it hits a tree. I don't ever think somebody's like, good shot. I think in my brain it's sarcasm. And I'm probably yelling, and I'm very sorry, but they told me to be louder this week. My other pet peeve, throwing a second putt.
Really?
In casual play, you're not okay with the second?
Nope. It drives me bonkers.
That's
bonkers.
Noted.
I'll never say a word to you about it, but internally, I'm raging every time.
Is it because it should be your turn next, and you're like, hey, that's intrusive, or are you all, hey, you're getting an extra practice putt so that you can do better than me, or is it, hey, in a real round that would have happened, so you shouldn't do it now? Where does that come from for you?
For me, if you want to practice putting, practice putting. It's like when we're playing, I want to play. I want to get, especially in Arizona right now, because the sun sets at like 5:30, and I'm off work at 4. So I don't have time for you to be dicking around and throwing extra putts or extra shots. Like I want to get my holes in. I want to play.
All business.
And yeah, like I'll have a beer for sure. I'll probably have a little bowl beforehand, and I'll go out and I'll have a good time. But like,
Little Benjamin.
Yeah. But it just drives me nuts. I don't know why.
That's crazy. You'd hate me. I'm carrying at least 2 putters to every putt.
I mean, I carry 2 putters too, but I don't throw second
Oh,
putts.
so-
I just don't.
I think it depends on what is our vibe at the moment. Like if I go out with my brother and we've both been talking shit the entire week, like,
Ooh.
no, I'm gonna be mad if you take a second putt to fix whatever is wrong with yours now. But if we're just like, oh, hey, let's try to get a quick 18 in and we're just throwing, and I might even throw 2 off the tee, like, then I'm okay with it. But yeah, it depends on the vibe. If we're like bragging rights, no, you don't get a second putt, man. If we're just out there because we just need to hurry up and play disc golf because we haven't in a couple days, then I'm like, whatever. But I definitely hear what you're saying, Kyle.
I wish I could not let it bother me, because I've genuinely, with friends in my group, I've gotten into spats because I'm just like, do you have to? You know, and I don't know where it comes from. It just bubbles up inside of me, and I fucking hate it. So I just thought it was funny because I know it's a really irrational level of hate coming from me. Irrational. And I knew you guys would laugh at it, so I wanted to see what your pet peeves are. So Nasser, you still have to tell us what yours is.
Yeah, one of my pet peeves. I think I did say this on Twitter when someone asked, I hate when people blame their disc, like their obvious bad disc choice or obvious poor form, and say, my disc never does that.
Yeah,
or whatever. I hate
it
when
never flips. It's
it
never
flips,
bro. It's made to flip.
Or it's either made to flip or like, bro, that disc is 5 years old. Yeah, it's a Ballista Pro. You've had it in your bag for the past 4 seasons. You think it's gonna do well into this headwind? Or like when it's like obviously someone's form and whatever, and they blame the disc when it's never the disc's fault. You know, it's like I don't know. It's like I feel like the same way as a new parent. It's like I can't get mad at my 13-month-old kid for not understanding their complex emotions. Like I barely get mine, and I'm 36. So how can I be mad at the kid for not getting their emotions? Like, how can this person? It's never the disc's fault that you threw it poorly, that you threw a bad choice of a disc or threw it with poor form or whatever. Yeah, that stemmed from a tournament a couple weeks back where this guy throws his Ballista Pro into the water on a hole that's like, this is obviously a Firebird or a Quake where you throw, you know, your overstable shot across the water. Hyzer's about 250 feet. You get next to the basket, you get your birdie. This dude throws his Ballista Pro with his Fred Flintstone run up, ugly reach back, 2 hands on the disc pretty much the whole time, comes forward on an Annie. It flies off into the water and never comes back. And he's like, oh, that disc never does that. Like, oh man, that Ballista Pro's gone bad. That dude's a 250
really?
hole, bro. Throw a Firebird and just like pitch up for 3. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
wild.
My irrational is that when people blame, they don't look at themselves. Like I'm all for people getting better. I don't have great form. I don't have perfect form, not even close. But I'm always like knowing like, oh, that was me that did that. And one thing that I'm annoying about is that I hate when other people do it, but I notice I've done it. I'll talk about what I did wrong on my shot as we're walking up to it, and I have to tell myself like, dude, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear what you have to think about your own shot. So don't do it. But I do that too. So I have to watch that. Oh, I threw it nose up. If I would have put it just a little bit more nose down, that would have been perfect. Like, yeah, bro, we get it. You didn't.
Yeah, we all saw you hit the tree, dog.
So yeah, those are my 2 and one that I'm guilty of. So
yeah, I'd say my other one is people taking my putter out of the basket, like cleaning up for me.
Really?
Yeah. Normally, I think it's probably because it's followed up by someone putting way too soon after I've putted. It's more in tournament play, I think. If I'm just playing with buddies casually, I don't care so much. But in tournament play, like if I just putted like 15 feet, let me grab my bag and clear it for you before you make your 10-footer, you know. But no, it's like as soon as my disc rests, they're already just like ching, you know, and then have my disc out of the basket before I'm even picked up.
I wonder too if people don't realize that you're entitled to that time as a player. It's up to you to go get your disc. That's all part of your turn to empty it out. It's not, anybody else should not be throwing or like feeling, you know, making you feel rushed to have to go rush your disc out. Like you've probably seen pros in a big tournament hit a huge 45-foot putt, slowly walk it in like a badass. No one's rushing them.
Yeah. It's not like, it doesn't make me mad by any means, but it's let me finish my turn. I guess exactly what NASA
Stay
was
in
saying.
your rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
It's being rushed in any part of a normal rhythmic motion is going to make you uncomfortable and throw you off. So I totally get it. In a tournament, especially, like my buddies and I are all good about picking each other up. You know, if I'm 30 feet away keeping score and I made a long putt, they'll pick. You know, they'll get me. But like, it's in tournament play, absolutely not. Like,
and like there probably is a rule for it, but I think it only really comes into play when it's like quote unquote a tap in. Even though like a 15-foot putt for me is not guaranteed.
Same.
So like I'm still celebrating that 15-foot putt. Like don't kill my celebration by putting my mid woohoo, you know.
You're like mid fist pump. The guy's throwing the disc back to you already. Come on, man.
So just another pet peeve that actually Nasser, you totally reminded me of today on Twitter. Stable does not mean overstable. Stable means
thank you.
Stable.
That was my next one.
It's
That's
so frustrating when someone says, "Oh, it's super stable," and you're like,
"We have a word
so
for
it goes
that."
straight, and they're like, "No, it goes left real hard." I'm like, "So it's overstable." Like we have this conversation every day.
Yeah, but
it's like one of the most common things in disc golf.
My Firebird's understable. It goes left.
You're like,
or damn it!
Yeah,
I fucked up.
It's so stable.
It goes right.
But then even for like a Firebird, no one would ever describe even like some of the most beat Firebirds as stable. You might say it's understable for a Firebird.
Yeah.
Even then, like I don't think there's any Firebird, no matter how beaten it is, that's flying like a Leopard or a Comet or a Buzz or something that's truly unstable, you know? But yeah, the guy's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, well, it doesn't, I guess, overall, but words do matter. That's why we have them.
Yeah, do you want to sound intelligent to other disc golfers, or do you want to sound like you just picked up a disc last week?
Or it's like, of course, words are important. That's why we have hyzer versus anhyzer. If you look at a gap and the disc needs to go from right to left, you're like, oh yeah, just throw an anhyzer at it. You're like, you mean hyzer? Oh yeah, whatever. You know, same thing.
All the same.
No, man, it's not the same. That's a good one because that was going to be my next one. That just bugs me of saying something is super stable. It's overstable. Yeah. It's too overstable, maybe you could say.
Yeah, and I think, especially when it comes to stability and flight numbers and stuff, it's one of the things that new players get caught up on so early. You know, as you get more seasoned into the sport, you realize that like flight numbers are more of a generalization of flight rather than
more like guidelines.
It is. But if you as a new, I distinctly remember as a new player that there was trying to learn what the flight numbers were, because I, like everyone else, I was handed, a DX Shark and a Destroyer and told to go have fun. Doing it on your own and researching it, there's got to be some uniformity there. And if you're not clear with how you're talking about it, you end up with people who think that stable means overstable.
Exactly. Well, it was a big change too in, I don't know what year it was, but because when I first started playing, you had Innova and Discraft basically, and then maybe you threw, if you were lucky and you had a cool tournament director who got some unique discs, you might have got some Wizards at a tournament. But there was, the Innova system with the numbers once they actually put them on the discs. Usually they were just on the website. But I can remember being in my 11th or 12th grade environmental systems class. We all had a big computer in front of us, which was kind of cool. But being on the Innova website, looking at Valks and Beasts and being like, oh, so this one is supposed to be maybe a little bit straighter. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. But then when Discraft moved from their old system, they used to have one number system. Mm-hmm. Like a Buzz was a 0.5 to the left. That was its rating. Yeah. Comet was a 0. The Meteor was a negative 0.5 to the right. And so that's how they did their system. And eventually they moved over to a number system as well, which I think was helpful for a lot of players. But it was kind of cool at that point when you had two different systems, kind of saying which one would compete and come out on top. So it seemed like flight numbers one versus one number overall. Yeah. But that's also, I think, a unique way to look at a disc too.
Yeah. And Discraft still does their like one number general stability thing, right?
I don't know. I think
They
they're
just have their own number, their fifth number on the
Yeah,
plate.
they have like an extra number. At some of
yeah,
them.
they have like their average number, right?
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be like you can look at it at a glance and be like, oh, this one is understable.
So they
Yeah.
did kind of keep that part of their old system as well
Yeah.
as incorporated the.
On some of them, it's not on their like premium plastic. I want to say it's on a lot of their like Jawbreaker and
Yeah.
or
Yeah, it's like the stock stamp runs.
yeah.
Light numbers, they matter. So yeah, I think it's
Mhm.
interesting because like you said, they're a good guideline. You shouldn't put like everything into them, but I think it's a good starting point.
Oh, for sure.
To know like what speed discs you want to throw and like, to maybe know to look at the turn and fade and like really maybe focus more on those numbers and maybe letting that be your guideline as a newer player. You want something with a negative turn and only a fade of 0 or 1.
Yeah. I've become a parting line height guy.
Oh, great! You have the little tool that like measures it and everything.
No, not like that. But like when I'm looking at like say, last time I did it when I was looking for a G-Star Wraith, and they definitely vary in stability. So
Yes.
just looking at it, like I was picking them up off the shelf and like doing the whole like nerd thing where you hold it up in the air sideways and
Right.
like, well, how far is it? And trying to find the lowest one because I love flippy stuff. So that's how I've started to determine stability. Because I mean, I've got
Can
two
you
different.
explain
places.
that for maybe if there are newer players listening who don't know what PLH or parting line height means?
Yeah.
Explain that.
It's a good call. So when a disc is made, there's a top half of the mold and the bottom half of the mold, and they get smushed together in the molding process. And during cooling, you can even get more specific because certain colors will take longer to cool and drop.
And that's fact. People that don't believe that are wrong. Go ahead though.
Absolutely agree. Yeah, what Spicy's showing there. So that the lower that parting line is, where like the top and the bottom half of the mold meet, the lower it is, the more understable it will be. So, and then you can get into like you're looking at like if you're looking at a yellow destroyer versus a red destroyer, the red destroyer is more likely to be understable because the red coloring will hold heat longer and make that mold kind of melt as it cools, dropping the parting line height. So, I mean, it gets even more specific than that, but the recent part of that is the time lapses. Simon was saying that the purple time lapses are more flippy than the other ones.
Yeah, I saw that in his video. He was like looking for these certain colors and could say for sure these runs are more stable, these runs are less stable.
Yeah, because the darker colors generally hold the heat longer, so when they're cooling, the parting line height will drop.
I think I think who was it that originally there was this guy, I think his name was Doth Savick. He used to post a lot of bag reviews on YouTube. He got into the PLH thing. I think he made the Destroyer video that got really big on Reddit a few years back, where he was like finding the perfect destroyer for him. So he basically had a ton of them, go through and measure the PLH and look at them for the quest to find like destroyers that worked for him.
Yeah.
I saw it for the first time really stand out with DGA pipelines because DGA makes their discs in such small runs and batches that like the community of DGA throwers like no, like this run flies like this run flies like that. The second run pipelines, which are made of their SP plastic, have significantly higher PLH than most pipelines, and they fly like little mini Firebirds when they're brand new, where a normal pipeline is a lot more like a TL3 or a TL. But that little PLH difference made the whole run of them a little bit more overstable. I won't say stable, a little bit more overstable pipeline. And so that was cool for me to actually be able to look at two different pipelines, see that they sit completely differently, and be like, okay, yeah, there's still not 100% like quality standards in disc golf where you can get the same disc to fly twice in a run, like fly the same in two different runs. It's hard. It's not something that's easy for companies to do unless you're making very small batch runs. If you're Innova and you're producing however many destroyers a day they sell and however many different colors, yeah, they're all going to be slightly different,
Yeah. Well, I think that's about time.
Well, I have to test him at least twice.
Oh, that's right. Never mind.
All right, we have a quick test for you here, Nasser.
Okay. What kind of test? Anxiety.
I'm gonna look up random ICP songs,
Okay.
and I'm gonna read you lyrics from a random part of the song. You have to tell me if you know the next line. Okay?
Yeah. Are they going to be like dark horse songs? Because like ICP's got like
I don't know. I know nothing about ICP other
hundreds of
than
songs.
Miracles.
All right. Well,
Miracles.
I could probably rap that one verse for verse practically.
That would be a miracle. All right. Let's see.
I'm getting my Juggalo card pulled. Let's see if I pass or not, or if I'm a Juffalo, a fake ass Juff.
I'm gonna revoke your Faygo monthly membership if you don't get these right.
Okay, I will say for the record, my favorite Faygo is Rock and Rye. If you've never had it and you're out there in the Midwest, get some Faygo Rock and Rye in your life.
Or else. All right, here we go. Looking good, Juggalos, but some of y'all still got rigor mortis.
Looking good, Juggalos, but some of y'all still got rigor mortis. Can you give me the lines before that?
I hear you typing. Damn it. Are we cheating over there?
Okay.
All right.
I did cheat because there's no way I do not know this song, but I do know this song, but I'll tell you why I don't know it. Because it's Chop Chop Slide, and it's like the weird, shitty song that no Juggalos like because it got popular on TikTok a few years back.
No.
And it's like this gimmicky, it's a gimmicky song. I will say that about the Chop Chop Slide, but I'm happy that it brought some relevance and brought in a bunch of what we call TikToklos to the community of people who didn't know that they liked ICP until they had one of these moments with this song. There's a couple more that kind of blew up on TikTok. So 0 for 1. I did not know Chop Chop Slide lyrics, but I do know.
I think you'll know this one.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right, next one.
I want more than 2. I want a good chance to prove myself here.
We'll see. I think this will be an easy one because even I know this song and I don't know a lot of ICP. Okay. Your dad would probably start tripping and get me pissed. I'd have to walk up and bust him in his
fucking lips.
What's the next line?
It's dinner time. Oh, is that the right verse? It's dinner time. No, that's before. It's dinner time. We're hearing grace from your mother. I pulled the 40 out and poured some for your little brother.
All right.
That's your sister. I'll tell you this. And now he's changed the line because it used to be, for only 13, she's got something. Now he says, for only 36, she's got some nice whatever. Yes, that is from the dating game or the netting game, as it is sometimes called. Game. This is the song that all non-Juggalos who know ICP know of this song. Funny story. I've got a funny story about this song from this year's Gathering of the Juggalos. It was the final night, Sunday. I have a flight back home from Columbus to Oregon at 6 a.m. So ICP plays the final night. I try to stay dry. I try not to get covered in Faygo. So I'm back on the hillside chilling. And the people behind me are talking the entire time. I'm trying to watch Violent J and Shaggy do their thing. They're crushing it on stage. And these idiots are behind me the whole time talking, just blabbing, not about the show. Then all of a sudden the netting game comes on, or the dating game, this song. And they're like, oh, hey, it's that song. And that pissed me off so bad that they only knew that one song and were talking the whole rest of the time on the hillside when I was just trying to enjoy myself. So that's the dating game, a popular ICP song that everyone should listen to at least once. But then you never want to see it live again once you've seen it a couple times.
I don't know that I'll ever see ICP live. I went to high school with a lot of Juggalos. So.
Are you from the Midwest?
No, I'm from Phoenix.
Albuquerque is apparently a huge Juggalo town. So that's not Arizona, but like the Southwest definitely has its Juggalo vibes for sure.
We sure do.
I've seen them once. Well, I didn't see them because I left before their set, but
mistake.
Yeah, it wasn't really my seat. So, do you know Head PE?
Yes, I used to love seeing them when I was young. Okay. When I was a younger man.
Yeah, so they played with them at my local venue, and I was just there to see Head PE. But they kind of co-opted the whole Juggalo thing for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they were definitely a Juggalo adjacent band.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of Juggalos there at the time, and that was like peak, like people didn't know what that was, so they didn't like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of deal. So we hopped out early because I didn't really want to stick around for the ICP show. Wish I would have. But
You know what? I would say I could do a whole episode just about ICP, but they've come around in that way where people in the industry used to not respect them. And people used to not want to know what they were all about. And now as they're older, in their 50s, they're getting respect from people that they feel like they've been wanting respect from. And they've been very vocal about being like, man, we are so stoked to be like talked about the way we are now. And like, we never liked being the most hated band in the world and blah, blah, blah. Like we like being that people like us, so they've definitely, I think, and the rest of the community in the world has come around a little bit to appreciate that they built something basically from the ground up. They're like pioneers in the merch game and how to sell merch and how to make your stuff viable. Yeah. I mean, we're talking pre-social media, like things spreading on the streets of like street juggalos, just like in the streets and at high schools, just like really creating buzz in ways that we haven't seen since social media has kind of taken over. So yeah, it's all very socially interesting to me as someone who just loves that kind of stuff. Like it's just the whole social scene of it is very interesting.
Yeah.
Give me another song. Come on.
All right, we'll do one more.
Okay, one more.
One of my mother's cats jumped up on the covers, and it scared my baby. Guess you don't like pets.
So I twisted its fucking head off at the neck. Look, baby, it's bloody. It's gone. It's doomed. Please come back to the room.
I was like, I got to get him to say some wild
Don't
ICP
ignore me.
shit.
This is more than a sick love story. Without you, I'd bring a shotgun to school, and I will if you want me to for any reason. I hate that you leave when the lights come on. If I had it my way, the fucking sun would be gone.
Well, if we're going to end on anything, actually, that was quite a rendition. Thank you.
Love that song. That's one of my all-time favorites. That is In My Room off Hell's Pit.
Awesome.
The sixth Jokers card from Insane Clown Posse that came out, I think, when I was in 8th or 9th grade. And I remember listening to it on the bus on the way to a wrestling tournament. My buddy and I had our sweet CD collections, and he's like, "Oh, I've got this new Limp Bizkit album. Like, I've got this new ICP. Sweet, let's listen to him and then switch."
Well, that sounds like quite a bus ride. I won't tell you what we sang on our away bus rides for baseball games, but we appreciate you hanging out, man. And,
man, it was great.
Giving us the betting info.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for having me in.
Yeah,
well, guys,
no
I hope you guys, your eyes are more open to disc golf betting and maybe even ICP. If you want to, if any listeners are out there, slide in my DMs at HT Nasser if you want to talk about ICP. I may be the best Juggalo disc golfer in the United States for all I know. So, but I'm the only one I know. So, I'm issuing a challenge to all Juggalos out there to have a higher rating than me in disc golf. Come see me.
Do it. Find him. And we'll hear about it. We'll talk about it on the next one.
Alternative gathering. It's a C tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a C tier at the gathering of the Juggalos with some, or maybe we'll make it an X tier so we can, waive all those rules about drugs and things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, just D tier, and then it's at your discretion per the new rule changes.
Perfect.
All right, man. We'll let you run. We're gonna close things out on our side. But we'll have you on again for sure. I appreciate you hanging out.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate being asked. You guys are awesome. Thanks for having a show for us to listen to. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
No worries, buddy.
Peace out.
See ya.
Woo! That was a lot of ICP.
Yeah, it was.
He went straight for it. I love him for that.
Oh yeah.
So no giveaway this week, only because the discs that I was supposed to get from OTB yesterday were returned to sender as undeliverable. But
that means
we do have.
They're too cool.
I never even saw the box. That's what she said. Anyway, yeah. So we'll get a giveaway next week. I should have the discs by then. I was gonna have them and show them all off and be very excited, but the USPS sucks. So we'll make sure we pick the giveaways up again next week. So sorry, guys. We still love you, and I hope you listened to this whole thing thinking there was going to be one, and now I've got your viewership, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it.
Yeah. Leave a like if you're mad that there's no giveaway this week.
Yep. And we will pick a person, and we'll give you a shout-out on the next episode.
Yeah. We'll make fun of you.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You're not the make fun of guy, really. Maybe a little bit.
Well, we'll get there. It's got to be worth it.
All right, brother. Until next week.
Until next week, And
We'll see you later.
all you guys, hang loose.
Pinkies and thumbs.
Pinkies and thumbs. Tell us what you are. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Hanging Loose, a disc golf podcast. We'll be back again next week. Until then, hang loose.